Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of YBI. We got Roman and Zion and Wesley here coming at you with the good news and how we can grow ourselves and do things better.
Okay. All right. I don't have any pet people, and apparently that makes me a terrible person. But it also doesn't allow me to have dogs dancing on the screen. But we are back, like Roman said, and we are super excited to get going again. Today we are going into good debt versus bad debt. What that really looks like. We have Pat Facts coming up today. We have a stimulus update for you guys, sterling statements, and then we have to let you guys know something very, very important that we're going to talk about right after the break. And we're back. Major thing that we need you guys to know. We have the website that is now live. Roman has taken his hard time, his sweet time, not sweet time. He took his time. Wait,
Had to make sure it was right. Had to make sure it was right. Come on.
Yeah. Nah, I couldn't figure out the verbiage that I was trying to get to, but he put in hard-earned time. Is it hard-earned time? You don't earn time.
It is earned.
I don't know.
It's earned income, you know, or it's earned work. We don't make no money from the website.
His time. He took his time to make sure that the website was perfect for you guys. But it is live as of today. There is going to be in the description where you guys can go to take a look at the website.
YoungBrokenInvesting.com.
YoungBrokenInvesting.com. We are out there. We have everything on there. You guys can donate on there to help us increase our limits for the giveaway. Congratulations again to our winner. We have pictures of ourselves, so a little bit of biography about where we come from, who we are, just not some random individuals talking to you guys every week or twice a week. What else is on there, Roman?
Archive for all the videos. So like we'll have every video archived up there. Contact links where you can email us directly if you have any questions or suggestions, as well as, of course, you know, comment below on everything as well. And that's where you can find it. Just information about the company. We're going to start posting blog posts up there as well, where it'll be transcripts from what we're talking about, even deeper information from our websites as well. We're going to get that going for you all, and it's just going to be a place to even get more financial knowledge.
Perfect. Yes, all of that is what I was trying to say, and it just didn't come out right. So yeah, all of that stuff is on the website. So make sure you guys go take a look at that. And then for the full length videos that you guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you go to Podcaster, Spotify, Google Play,
Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and Breaker, and Anchor.com itself. We are up on all those platforms for audio podcasts.
Yes. And the incentive to doing that is that we have full-length videos there. So we record for like 45 minutes to almost an hour, and we only put the first portion of this on YouTube because editing videos is not fun. But editing audio is pretty simple. So we take the full length stuff and we put it up there. So if you did not hear the full conversation that we had about investing in self last week, make sure you go onto those different platforms and take a listen, because there's a lot more information that you guys can get there. And we want you guys to make sure that you're getting all the information that we have for you. Okay.
And if you never really listen to audio podcasts, they are, of course, great. You can, listen to them in the car, when you're walking, in the shower, like whatever. You can always do them while you're doing something else and still get that knowledge as well. Sometimes it's hard to put on a video and watch that, but people usually some already have their headphones in for most of the day. So just go ahead and pop them on, and there you go. Financial knowledge for your day.
Yes, but if you want to see our beautiful faces, definitely come back here and take us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're everywhere. We are everywhere. So just keep up with us, guys. It's really important to us, and we appreciate the support. So
let's get into
diving into content. Today we are talking about good debt versus bad debt. So what is good debt versus bad debt, man? What is it? What is debt?
We know overall, most people just see debt, especially if everyone's even ever followed Dave Ramsey. All debt is bad. But there's certain ways you can use debt for good things, for leveraging your money to actually increase your net worth, for buying a home, for a mortgage, even if you know how to trade on margins, things like that, getting a loan for school, credit card usage, and getting credit card rewards It is debt, but if you use it correctly, you can pay zero interest. You can get rewards points back to get free
Mhm.
travel and free food and things like that. So there are definitely ways where you can use debt for good reasons. It's not all bad. You can use it
It's
well,
not all bad.
you
The
know?
definition that I'm getting here that we will link below at debt.com is that a simple rule is if it increases your net worth or has future value, it is good debt. And if it does not do that and you don't have the cash to pay for it, it's considered bad debt. So, very simply, if you have cash to pay for it, but you decide to put it on a card instead, it's technically good debt because you can pay it off immediately, but you're using a credit card company to get something like a cash reward or cash back, and you're not being charged ridiculous APR because you're paying that before the due date, which means that they're not going to hit you with late fees. They're not going to hit you with all those other fees. Um, at the same time, if you pay for, like Roman said, if you get a mortgage, it's technically, yes, it's debt, but at the same time, houses tend to increase in value. You can hold them for a longer period of time, and then you can sell that, and that's considered an asset. So at that point, it's considered good debt. Bad debt, man, there's a lot of bad debt. There's
Yes.
the,
That's just like, loans, really, just payday loans are usually terrible because their interest rate of loans could be 60% or higher, like instantly. Definitely always want to avoid those. What's good for a payday loan? Emergency fund. That's your payday loan right there. It's something you
mhm,
already have for those quick uses, for things that you need, and it costs you nothing because that's your money already that you already have had saved up. Um, Loans in
exactly.
general, just paying
Automobile
them off.
loans,
Auto loans
man,
are
automobile
terrible.
loans are awful. We talked about this last episode. If you guys listen to the full length version, you got to hear JC Scott's story about him and paying for a car. And man, even I'm purchasing a car now, and yeah, it's got an APR on it, but it's not super high. But there are people that are paying like 30% APR for cars, which is ridiculous because you're going to end up paying, $40,000 for a car that only costs you 20. So
Mm,
you pay double. So that bad debt it builds upon itself, and then that's a hole that you really can't get out of.
Know
So
what
that
you're
is,
signing on the dotted line. When you sign for any loan, any
yeah.
terms or conditions, know what you're signing into. A lot of the times, loans even now will even give you a payment calculator for when you're doing it. Look at
Mhm.
those things before you even think about even considering it and be like, okay, can I fit this in my budget? Or even consider why you're even buying that on a loan or on credit. I use my credit card all the time, especially for things I already use to build up credit history and build my credit score. I already pay my cell phone bill. I already pay Netflix. I already pay those things. I already pay for groceries. So you put those things on a credit card where you can get the cash back, and it builds your credit score and your credit payment history because that's money you already would have spent anyway.
So obviously, the best thing is knowing that cash is king. So if you have cash, use it because people with money don't use credit because it's not
Are you mad
necessary.
I put you down?
Um, what's
He's
happening with the
barking.
dog?
I think he's mad I put him down.
Oh, oh,
Come here.
spoiled,
You know,
spoiled animals. Um, yeah. So cash is king. So when billionaires are walking around, they're not using credit cards because they don't have to. But unless you have a decent amount of money sitting in the bank just away, and unless you have your emergency fund, everything is paid and you still have cash like that, which a lot of Americans don't because we don't deal with our finances that well. But once we get to that place, eliminate all credit cards, eliminate using that, used cash for everything because cash is king. Because at the end of the day, that $20,000 car that we were talking about, you can walk out paying less because you have cash, because you can actually go in and say, you know what, I want to pay $15,000 for this car. I got cash. What's up? They're going to say, okay, we can make that happen.
yeah,
Versus if you get it the other way, now you're going to end up paying 40,000. You're going to pay double instead of paying less than what you could have if you actually had cash. So it's really important to understand that yes, there is such a good thing as good debt versus bad debt. At the end of the day, if you have cash, you're always going to run the world.
because especially if anyone ended up checking out mint.com or personal capital for logging in all your expenses and everything, if you log into your credit card accounts or your loan accounts, it does it against your net worth right there. It'll show, let's say you got 5 grand in the bank, but you have 6 grand in loans and credit cards and car payments or whatever. It's going to say your net worth is negative 1,000.
Yeah.
It's going to say that because that's technically what it is. That's money that you owe. So you want to even use that as a tool to be like, I thought my net worth was around, $5 grand or whatever. It's
Yeah,
technically not, because you owe all these people money. So
exactly.
that'll give you that motivation right then and there to be like, okay, I got to get these things paid off. I got to get them paid down. And we're gonna go over like paying off debt and good credit cards, bad credit cards, and even more in-depth stuff in credit in later videos too. But just to give you guys a little intro on that right there is just
Yeah,
taking control of that. I had a lot of friends I talked to just this past week who never even knew what their credit score was. Didn't even know even though they were making payments on student loans and like that, but have not checked their credit score. I'm like, there's free ways to do that. There's a
yeah.
lot of them. So
So, okay, I didn't know that. So obviously we need to get into credit and all that. And I
mhm.
believe that's coming next week after we talk about paying off debt on Thursday. But next week we'll probably have to jump into credit and the importance of credit so people really understand what this looks like. But getting back to the topic, good debt can look like a small business loan. A small business loan is technically it's you betting on you, so it goes back to the investing in so. And again, if you didn't listen to it, go on back. Shameless plug. Yeah, I'm here for that. A small business loan because Roman and I we had enough capital together to come together and pay for the different things that we had to pay for to start this business. We had to pay for the LLC and the articles of incorporation, and we had to pay to get the website going, and we have to pay for a bunch of different things. So we didn't take
Equipment.
out a small business loan, but at the end of the day, well, because we're a finance, this is all about finance. So we don't want to go into debt trying to talk about finance and put ourselves more into debt because so we did it a little bit differently. But if you have an idea or a small business that you're trying to take on, then you might look into taking a small business loan, and that gives you a way to put it all against the company rather than putting it all against yourself. So that way it's considered good debt because now, yeah, you have $50,000 to get your business started. But when it looks at the projection, because you have to take this to a bank, and the banker is going to tell you, well, let me see a business plan and let me see what you're projected to sell in the first quarter or whatever. So you're looking at all of this information, and they're trying to bank on you and your business, or they're not. So if you don't get approved for the loan, then you probably need to do some more digging and say, you know what, I need a better business plan or a better business model or a better product, so that the banks are willing to bet on me and my company. Once they do that, then it shows, oh yeah, my company is going to be self-sufficient and can pay this loan, and it's not coming out of your pocket. So technically, you do have debt, but it's the company's debt. It's the company's debt. It's not working against you as an individual, unless you fail. In which case, we're sorry. That's terrible. But we hope you don't. We hope you don't.
That is it can be a tool. It's a dangerous tool that can go out of hand, but sometimes you almost are put in situations where you might feel like you might have to. If you have a job coming up, if you're a freelance, you're like, well, I need this microphone, I need this computer, I need this camera, I need to rent this space or whatever. So you might put it on your credit card, or you might end up bless you. You might end up
Thanks.
financing a camera or something like that. Especially if you have jobs booked, that's perfect, because that's already, you're going to get that income and revenue coming right back, so you can then pay that off, and then you're making money off that camera from that point, and you're just reinvesting that. And same deal with school. If you end up having, if you can, of course, pay for classes like straight out in cash, go ahead and do it, because student loans can just be a beast and a monster. But if you want to go for that investment to go from that 30K salary a year job up to like 150K, do it, because then that 150K a year that you're making, you'll be able to pay off that $15,000 tuition or whatever it is very quickly. So that's an investment in itself that you can very well do. That's
Yeah,
ways you can
that's
use debt.
man, that's so important. And we're gonna be getting into this in a couple of episodes, talking about student loans and what that looks like. All the whole shebang about college, what that all looks like, man. Because we have a lot that we want to give you guys, especially about that. So when it comes to student loans, especially, what I tell all of my athletes is to look for scholarships. There are a lot of scholarships out there. Look for scholarships. Look for merit-based scholarships, but look for scholarships because of who you are. So if you're an
Mhm.
African American, they have alumni associations at different universities that have money sitting there just for African American students. Same thing Mexican Americans. Same thing for,
Latinos.
Alaskan Americans. Like, it doesn't matter. There are a lot of different scholarships, and beyond scholarships, look for grants, because grants are things that you guys can apply for that you don't have to pay back. Grants and scholarships are so important. So important when you're trying to go to school, and when you're talking about, oh yeah, I'm not trying to have any debt at the end of the day. That's the way to do it, because once you get approved for a scholarship, or once you get approved for a grant, even if you have more money than what your tuition is, that's still your money. That just means that you got paid. That's a payday for you, for all of the people that are trying to go back to school. For me, I said, you know what, I'm gonna go back to school, but I'm not gonna pay for it. So I actually didn't look for any grants and scholarships. I still could. I could apply for a merit-based scholarship and see if I get it. And if I do, that's just money that's coming to me. Um, but at the end of the day, you have to look to see if there are ways that you can get out of paying for student loans and get out of paying for school in general. Because yes, it is good debt in terms of you're investing in yourself, and you need to be able to do that in order to make more money. At the end of the day, anything that is working against you is doing just that, working against you. You don't want to be in a hole that way, especially coming straight out of school and not knowing what you're going to make and not knowing a bunch of different factors. So you want to make sure that, yes, you're investing in yourself, but on the other end of the spectrum, you want to make sure that you're doing that very smart. Do it smart. So look at scholarships and look at grants to make sure that if you're going to apply for those different things and go back to school, that you can also get some of that paid for.
Yep, exactly.
Um, what else do you want to talk about? Anything else in terms of good debt versus bad debts? I mean, this is the basic stuff. So next episode we can really dive into paying this stuff off, how to do that, different strategies that we use and that we employ. But do you have anything else that you want to share with the people about good debt versus bad debt?
Um, we'll give them an exercise. Have everyone start looking. If you haven't already, go on Credit Karma, go on Experience, see what you owe to whoever, and start writing those things down. Um, if you haven't logged,
Ooh, don't give them too much, man, because we got to tell them
that's
about
true.
credit. We
That's
got to
true.
tell them about credit.
Or yeah, at the
Man,
very
credit gonna be
least,
fun.
if you already know what you logged into, personal capital and mint, go on there and like look
Yeah.
at your income statements. It'll start showing right then and there of what your credit card due is, and your loans and auto loans and home loans and everything already right there. Start looking at that stuff. And like it was like I had a couple of my friends like go ahead and do it. They were like they got afraid and kind of scared and a little anxious at first when they
Yeah.
first did it, because they didn't know they actually had that much debt on their name. They thought, I got 10 grand in the bank, so I'm good. But then you compare that to how much debt you have, and it's like, oh, I'm really not as good as I thought. And it's not really even to scare you out of where you're finances, so you can take more control of them. So you can get a plan
Yeah.
together and tackle those things. Because this is America. Everyone knows that credit and debt are pretty much gold. It's how the country almost pretty much runs itself at this point, is to its deficit. So
Yeah.
we have to understand what it is and how to take control of it, so you can use it to better yourself and not to let it ruin your life. Because then, especially nowadays with college kids, you get that first credit card when you go in there, and you not only are you instantly in debt from your student loans, you're instantly in debt because you just got that student credit card and you max it out at
Hmm.
Nike or something. So, and that's just hurting your credit. You starting off the race behind.
Yeah. Knowledge is power at the end of the day.
Knowledge is
So
power.
if you know what you owe, you'll do better at the end of the day, because you can pay these things down. But there are things that when I pulled my credit report that I didn't even know were on my credit report. So we're going to definitely talk about how to get those things off, what all those things mean, what is affecting your credit, all of that good stuff down the road. What's crazy is that I never thought that I would actually get excited about talking about financial stuff. But then when we talking, I'm like, man, it's kind of lit. Like we gotta really let people know. We gotta let people know. So yeah, we're gonna get into all that stuff. But for now, we need to do a
Pet fact.
stimulus update. No,
Oh, stimulus update
no.
first. All right, stimulus update.
Which one you want to do, man? You want to do stimulus or you want to do pet fact?
Pet fact.
Pet fact, run it.
Pet fact.
Today we have a prop. Is a prop puppy today?
No, we're going to debt dog.
Debt dog.
Yeah, we're
Oh
going to
my
keep it on
goodness.
topic.
We have the debt dog. Of course, this dog is not a debt to one of our viewers out in Dallas. Jade, we just wanted to send our condolences to you. We know that that page is sick, and hurts our heart because we care about our animals and our viewers here. So thank you for sharing your story with us. And yeah, we wanted to highlight Paige on this episode. Hopefully she's doing a little bit better, and that you let us know. All right.
Everybody send love and good vibes out there in Dallas to Paige and Jade for us. Just throw them out there and knock them out the park.
Yeah.
So our debt dog, even though this fact is just very interesting, it's on topic. Almost half of America is now carrying credit card debt as of May of this year. Just as we know what's going on with the corona economy right now, a lot of people are carrying less cash now, so now using more of the debit cards and credit cards, but as well as a lot of people's income has gone down, which means they're now having to rely on their credit cards and personal loans to now pay for things because they never waiting for the unemployment benefits. Some people haven't still received them. Some people are still waiting their stimulus checks or vice versa, can't find another stream of income. So about right now, we're actually about 47% of America is carrying credit card debt. And about 1/4 of those credit cards have gone up since COVID-19 has started, which means people are just putting themselves more and more debt. And I'm hoping that now, with people starting to now get those benefits, go back to work, they can start taking that back over because, debt is just a terrible thing. It'll eat you alive if you end up staying into it. The average credit card interest rate is about 27% if you let that balance carry over. That's on $100, that's $27 right there. Extra
Yeah,
for no reason.
it
That you're just
depends
giving.
on the card too. It
Yeah.
really depends on the card too, which we're going to get into next episode. So it really depends on the card. So you have to look at the APRs, and we'll discuss that. We'll discuss that on Thursday.
Yes.
Meet us back here. We'll discuss that on Thursday. Yeah, good fact, man. Good fact. Like we said, being able to pay off a credit card before that due date or before you get that super high APR is super important, and we'll show you guys graphics and things that explain that a little bit better. Now,
Stimulus update.
Which
will help with those people who have now been accruing up, debt and things like that.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to know, like, okay, well, what's the government kind of doing here? As you all kind of know about, last month, the Democrats did propose an act about $3 trillion to put more money in people's pockets. There's now since then been about 2 other options on the board. So the GOP is proposing about a $1 trillion plan. Actually, as of right now, the only one that's in writing is a Democratic one. It's just what reporters have been getting and what the Republicans have basically been saying from the Senate and the Congress, and what the president has been saying as well. So they are in the hands of talking about a $1 trillion plan right now from the GOP, a $2 trillion plan that Trump himself has been trying to talking about and putting out there, and the $3 trillion plan that's been coming out from the one Democrat that's already proposed. In each of those, they have already been discussed of having another $1,200 payment being sent as direct payments again to individuals. And around that only costs the country about $413 billion. That there's enough in that in every plan that's been proposed to still pay for that. In addition to still getting hospitality, manufacturing, all those companies are being hit really hard right now. Give them a boost so then people can start traveling again, so they can stay in business and things like that. The issue where that kind of lies is if Congress goes into recess. They keep saying right now, watch out for July. We're going to be in July now. If Congress goes in recess from July 3rd to July 17th, we won't hear anything until after that. And then if they kind of don't get into an agreement by then, Congress will go into recess again August 8th to September 8th. I really don't think they're going to wait that long, because if they do, the economy is probably going to go down by then, and people are going to go crazy because then they don't. Right now, Americans already say the first stimulus package was not enough to actually help the actual financial situation in their bills. So Americans do want more money. They do need more help. And I know the government's right now kind of waiting to see how that kind of plays out. I'm sorry, had a little brain fart there.
Yeah.
If all that happens, the direct deposits should be coming out around August 22nd to 23rd, with people getting their first direct deposits sometime early September. So that's about 2 months from now. As well as unemployment, there's been no talks about extending that. So the extra $10 a week will probably be ending towards the end of next month. So if you have not already been investing in yourself and try to find a new source of income, if you lost your income, please start doing so now. There's no guarantee. I've had friends in the service industry since my bar opened back up. They're like, it's hard for us to find another job right now in the service industry because a lot of bars and restaurants are only opening 25% to 50% of their capacity, which means they need that much less staff to run that place. So definitely start looking into those things. Ooh. Now, also people to think about that, the people that are in Congress and our president and government, they're rich. They're not struggling in this time. They have investments. They're already millionaires. They're already billionaires, as well as they're already making $175,000 to $200,000 a year off their salary. So they're not struggling. We're still paying their salaries even with our unemployment benefits, because they'll still get taxed, which still goes back into their pockets. So they're not really worrying. They're still that's why they're starting to wait for how long as they are. So we do need to take more control over our own finances and our own knowledge to see what we can do for ourselves. The federal government has doubled their spending this year already. We're on track for about 2 million like already. Right now we're close to about $7 trillion of spending just this year on everything that's going on. Let alone if these new stimulus packages get passed, we're doing even more at that point. And if to recover the economy in the way that we're going, the federal government will have to pump $1 trillion a year into the economy for the next 3 years to get things back to where they were. That's adding 9 million jobs a year. That's getting spinning back up, GDP and all those other factors that are now being hit. And yeah, it's a crazy time, but I'm excited to see where the government does, what the economy does, what the stock market does, because right now it's all balanced. The stock market goes up and down just depending on what the headlines are for what COVID is, and it's a roller coaster.
All right.
I know that was a lot. That was a lot.
The debt dog today. A lot of information for you guys. So yeah, I mean, I was sitting there listening to my dog on. So get it, dog.
Oh, and that was. But also, I actually got one more. I forgot a little information I did have. In Trump's plan, he's talking about doing a $4,000 travel credit to help out those industries. And with that being said, is if you spend more than $50 leaving your home to go travel wherever, New York, Vegas, LA, wherever you're going for your vacation, you get a $4,000 tax credit. Not a direct payment, but you can write that off for your taxes come next year. The issue with that plan is you have to have enough money right now to travel. If you're already lost your job and you're already depending on credit cards to pay your bills and things like that, you can't afford to travel. So it really won't help the average American who's struggling right now. So that one's probably not going to work out, but that is something to think about, and it is an idea that was proposed. Just to let you guys know what's just going out there in the world. But I thought
hopefully that one works out, because I'm supposed to be traveling in a couple of weeks here. So we shall see, because I could use a $4,000 tax break that way. Help the kid out. Help the kid out.
When we go over taxes, we're going to talk to you guys about all those things. A lot of people now, drop a little thing, are overpaying for their taxes even now. So yeah, we're going to get into that.
I did last year. Not gonna lie, I did. So that's gonna wrap it up for today. Sterling statements for today. Number one, understand the differences in good debt versus bad debt. That's anything that you cannot immediately pay cash for or will have the money for immediately, you probably can't afford. And you don't want to be carrying that debt on and on and on. Payday loans, awful. Student loans, kind of trash, not gonna lie. But good debt that we're looking at is things like investing in yourself, a home loan, a small business loan, things like that can actually generate its own money, so that at the end of it all, you're not going to be stuck footing the bill for that. In addition to those things, remember all that Roman was saying about the stimulus update. That was a lot of information. So go ahead and run that back and listen to that again. The website is up. It is live today. Make sure that you go check that out. Check out all of our different social media platforms. As always, we may be young and we may be broke, but we are always investing. Till next time, guys, we will see you on Thursday.
Peace.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to Young Broken Investing. We just want to let you know that these are the opinions of the hosts, are not meant to be the basis of any security purchases or investments. We're trying to give a little information out there for everybody, and have fun and be safe.